Hi and welcome back to Stamp Academy. This is another project in the new catalog edition of Project Parade. This highlights products from the 2013-2014 new catalog from Stampin' Up! And today's project is another wow card. This uses a business envelope, so it's one of my favorite types of cards, and I love it because it has a little bit of a masculine look to it. So I'm going to show you how to assemble this. You very simply start with a piece of crumb cake cardstock that you're just going to fold in half. All of your measurements are on the PDF that is located below the video. Just simply click on the words and you can download the measurements, the instructions, as well as the product list. So you're just going to fold this in half and then you're going to put it aside, because what we're doing is we're going to have a faux front to this card. Once you've folded that in half, we're going to put that aside because we're actually going to make a faux front to this card. So what you're going to do is you're going to use some framelits. These are the Apothecary Arts framelits, and we're using the largest one. And we're going to just position that right here on the front of our project, and you're going to go about a ½ inch down. And you're going to center that, and then you're going to put either a Post-it note to hold it in place. If you have the magnetic multi-purpose platform, you don't need your Post-it note, but this is the one that came with my Big Shot. I'm going to put down a cutting plate. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to cover it with another cutting plate, and I'm going to run it through the Big Shot. You're going to take that piece that pops out and you're going to save that for another one of your projects. You're going to go back to your multi-purpose platform, but this time you're going to open it so that it's on tab 1. You're going to put down your cutting plate, and then you're going to take the new Textured Impressions folder called Modern Mosaic, and you're going to take this piece and you're going to put this into the Textured Impressions folder. Now when you put it into the folder, if it shows the Stampin' Up! Logo on the front of it, that means it will impress forward, so that's what I would like it to do. And I'm not really going to worry that this doesn't go down to the bottom because we're going to decorate the bottom of that. I'm going to put that onto the cutting plate and cover it with another cutting plate and run this sandwich through the Big Shot. When it comes out, I have the pattern on most of the card, and I am going to just take 2 little strips of cardstock. This is chocolate chip and cherry cobbler, and what I'm going to do is adhere the cherry cobbler right on top of the chocolate chip, centered, and this time I'm going to be using the Textured Impressions folder called Square Lattice. And these do not come in these cases. This is just an empty stamp case. I put the description on the front and then I just drop the Textured Impressions folder inside, and I do the same for the back. I just handwrite the names. You can certainly use a label maker if you prefer. I'm going to take this piece and I'm just going to put this in my Textured Impressions folder, and you remember, if the logo is face up, it's going to impress forward, and that's what I would like it to do. My multi-purpose platform is on tab 1. My cutting plate is down. This is in the center. It's covered with another cutting plate, and I'm going to run this whole sandwich through the Big Shot. When this piece comes out, it's going to have that great impression on it. I'm then going to just put some adhesive on the back of it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere it right up to the point where that Textured Impressions folder stopped. And then I'm just going to adhere. I'm then going to take a greeting. This particular greeting is from Loving Thoughts. I'm using the word inspire. You could certainly use any other greeting that you have that works. And I'm going to be using some chocolate chip ink because I used some chocolate chip cardstock. I'm going to ink that greeting up, and then I'm going to just position it at the bottom and stamp. I'm going to put that aside for now, and I'm going to take 3 pieces of vellum cardstock, and the measurements are on your PDF. This is 3 3/8 inches by 5.5, and I have 3 of them. So each of these 3 pieces is going to be stamped with a different stamp in a different color. So I'm taking stamps from the Mosaic Madness stamp set, and I'm going to be using this one, and this one. So for my first piece, I am going to be using the piece that is filled in the center. I'm going to ink this up in my chocolate chip ink, and I'm going to randomly stamp this right onto my vellum. Now be very careful when you stamp on vellum, because if you move it, it'll smudge. I'm going to put this aside to dry, and vellum does take quite a while to dry, so give yourself some time to do this project. I'm going to be using cherry cobbler for the next stamp, and for this stamp I'm using the one that has the little design in the center. And again, I'm randomly stamping this onto my cardstock. And I'm going on and off the page. Again, I'm very careful when I pick this up that I don't touch the ink. I'm going to move it aside to a safe place to dry, and I'm going to go on to my crumb cake. This time I'm using the open stamp, and I'm going to stamp that randomly as well. And once again, put that aside to dry. When they're dry, you're going to take a piece of white cardstock, which is the same size, and you're going to layer these one on top of the other, beginning with the chocolate chip, and then the cherry cobbler, and then the crumb cake on top. So you're going to layer them on like this. What you're going to do then is in the corners, you're just going to put little spots of snail, because you want to make sure that you don't see it, and that's one of the things with vellum is you will see it if you put it in the center. So we're going to just put that right on the outside and then just glue it down. We're then going to go back and we're going to put another little drop of snail adhesive in our four corners, and then you're going to take your cherry cobbler and you're going to line that up, and then you're going to adhere that on top as well. Do exactly the same thing for the crumb cake. You're going to come back in with your cover and you're going to turn it over so that the Imagine and the detail is on the front. And now you're going to be adhering this so that it peeks through the window. So what you're going to do is you're going to put some snail all around here because you want that whole piece to adhere nicely. So I'm just going to put it on here wherever I think the vellum piece is going to be. And then I'm going to put that right on top. And I'm going to press down. And then you're going to be able to see that through like a window. Now you can snail this to the front cover, or you can use sticky strip, whatever you like. I'm just going to use a little bit of sticky strip here because I want to make sure that that stays on there really well. And then I'm just going to put some snail here because I'm not as concerned about those pieces. I'm going to use my scissor to just peel off that adhesive backing. And then what you're going to do is just take that whole thing and you're going to line it up right on top of your project. So it's going to be lined up so that it fits exactly over my card, and then just adhere it. And when you're done, it's going to give you this great stained glass window look. And when you open it up, it's just a regular card. So that's your project for today. If you have any questions for us, as always, we are at mail@stampacademy.com.